saw a familiar face walking on the avenue. Both surprised by the way we looked. The years had changed us too.
Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Gung Ho. It's January 27, 2025. All right. Where should I start? I never thought that at this age, 81, I'd be involved in politics. I actually retired from the practice of criminal defense law in 2015. Was forced out because of service-connected disabilities. But here we are, and I think people are really depressed. They're getting worn down, and now is the time we have to really regroup and fight back. Right now, we did it to ourselves. We have a tyrant, and he's destructive to our Constitution and our democracy. And a lot of blame goes around. I'm not saying that anyone particularly, but if you voted for Trump this time around, you're part of the blame. You're guilty of putting that tyrant there at the top, our commander-in-chief, our president. It's a disgrace. You also feel guilty about what you did. I don't know how people this time around could vote for him. He absolutely does not have good character. He absolutely does not care about the rule of law, and he's demonstrated this time and time again, and he's starting out really bad. How did you people out there vote for a person that tried to overthrow our government? The January 6th, I call it an insurrection. That was not a mob. That was a horde of people that attacked the Capitol, and he wanted them to stop the electoral count because he lost the election. How did you elect a person like that? I didn't. I don't consider him my president, my commander-in-chief. And I don't know how you people can have any respect for him, especially people in the military. This is a guy that during the Vietnam War got at least 5 deferments, and he got out of going because he claimed he had bone spurs. Means he got a letter from a doctor. A lot of young men were in a position to do that, but a lot of them weren't. A lot of the men that fought in Vietnam could not get a doctor's letter. They didn't want a doctor's letter. They wanted to serve, like me. He would deem me and all the Marines that served with me, the ones that survived, losers. The ones that got killed, suckers. And hardly a day goes by that I don't think of what Trump would call suckers. Young Marines that were killed with me, by me, right near me. I mean, a lot of blame. I mean, a lot of guilt falls on our own people in our own government. I've been saying this for years. It's a shame, but people in the FBI, Department of Justice, and federal judges have protected Trump out of fear, out of retribution. It's there. They won't come forward and tell you what they did. I've been out there saying this over and over again. For some reason, I don't know why, Mueller was, as the FBI director, put in Trump Tower, an FBI informer born in Russia. His name was Felix Sater, and they let him launder money with Trump. This started in 2000. And something went wrong, obviously, because the government's been trying to cover up the fact that they had an informer that represented themselves to be a legitimate businessman, doing business with Trump, laundering money from Russia and Kazakhstan, and it all came in. So Trump has the money connection to Russia. That means he's connected to Putin. And our government is involved in it, way up. They either were involved personally, like Robert Mueller, while he was the head of the FBI and while he was special counsel covering up what they did. Andrew Weissman, who was on MSNBC, they were all involved. And a lot of people knew about Trump's connection to Russian money. This is money that was stolen from the Soviet Union and Russia, stolen by oligarchs, from businesses, from banks, whatever. And it came this way. And nothing came this way unless Putin was involved. So Trump has always been involved with Russian money. And somehow it happened on the watch of our FBI, Department of Justice, and federal judges. And until that comes out, we can't take this guy down because he's been protected by the feds. Think about it. Special counsel was supposed to go after him, go after his connections to the Russians. He didn't bother to do that. He didn't do anything to hurt Trump. And then the special counsel, Jack Smith, again, going after Trump. They didn't put a glove on Trump. They were the feds. Trump has a pass with the feds. They don't want him. They don't want him ever to come forward and say, oh, by the way, you put a Russian-born FBI informer in my building. You protected him. You protected his background, that he was a criminal. He did business with the Trump organization for years and years and years on Mueller's watch. So Mueller, who was the head of the FBI, and lawyers around him in the Department of Justice and federal judges, they've been protecting Felix Sater, what he did with the Trump organization, with Trump. And I know this firsthand, because I was involved on ground zero. I know what they did. I've got the documents. No one pays attention to me. No one will say I'm wrong. No one will say I'm a liar. No one will say I defamed him, or I libeled him, or I slandered him. No. So I'm telling the truth. And I say this right to the judges, Mueller himself, Andrew Weissman, Felix Sater, and his attorneys. They are the criminals. And they've been involved in a cover-up for many, many years. And it's ongoing. None of them have the courage to come forward and say what really happened, like someone did in Deep Throat. None so far will come forward and say, look, Trump is where he is right now because we protected him. I would like to know why they got involved with Trump in the first place. Why did it come to be that? Why did they put a Russian-born informer in Trump Tower? What were they doing? What were they trying to do? That's the big question. All right. This particular video, I'm gonna send out. I've been sending out videos of my shows. This video goes to Robert Mueller, who was a special counsel going after Trump. This video goes to Judge Glasser. This video goes to Felix Sater and his attorneys, and a whole bunch of other people involved, or they knew about it. And I'm going to ask you right now, Robert Mueller, why don't you come forward and tell us what really happened, why you were really assigned as special counsel? It was part of a cover-up, wasn't it? You weren't there to get Trump. You were there to make sure that nothing came out about his involvement with the FBI and the Department of Justice, weren't you? How could you take down Michael Cohen and he gave you nothing on Trump? How is that? And how come Felix Sater, that was in the Trump organization, or was doing business with the Trump organization, gave you nothing on Trump? What you did, you helped create this tyrant. And I know now that because I've been up against you people in court, and I know the media is afraid of Trump. They actually are afraid to tell the truth. They can't handle the truth. This thing now, oh my God, the pardon of the that horde that attacked the Capitol. I don't believe that's constitutional. How could that be deemed a just thing to do? To pardon criminals that tried to overthrow our government. Doesn't that sound unconstitutional? Now, these guys out there, they think if they commit more crimes and they claim it's in support of Trump, that he'll pardon them again. And guess what? It could very well happen. What he's done is he basically has created a horde of people that think they cannot be held accountable because they weren't. What he's done was unconstitutional. It was against our democracy, and he got away with it so far. So far. Why would anybody give Trump the benefit of the doubt second time around? And the appointments that he's making, they are to destroy the institutions that they're appointed to overlook or rule, like Pete Hessek. He's an asshole. He's a Christian nationalist. What the hell does that mean? Why would you put him ahead of the Department of Defense? And this guy Patek has a list of people that he's going to go after. A list. They're there to destroy. They're there to obey Trump. All he wants is loyalty. He's not interested in anyone's welfare. He's not interested in the American people. He's not interested in the rule of law. And here he is. And this time around, there are no big demonstrations against him. We're worn down, aren't we? I'm not worn down. Nowhere near being worn down. It just makes me angry and a bit frustrated that this guy is ruling our country. And what would make America great again? Get rid of this, I don't know. Get rid of Trump, dump Trump. And how are we going to do that? Well, we got to keep speaking out. We're going to have to start demonstrating. We have to start acting, moving, doing things. We just can't sit back and see what he does. The most powerful thing we have right now is the Word. I'm part of the Word. Where do we go from here, my God? People that, when I encounter people that voted for Trump, they won't speak to me. They just don't want to hear it. They only want to know what they think they know, and they're ignorant and stupid to follow this guy. I really don't get it. All right. I'm sort of at a loss for words here. This is the worst thing that has happened to our country ever. Trump is the worst enemy we've ever had, and it's from within. And the people that follow him, they all are within. It's the most serious threat ever to our Constitution and our democracy. He's making a fool out of what we've done, what we've accomplished, Americans. You're only as good as your last fight, your last president. And here he is. He's a wrecking ball for our Constitution and our democracy. When you think about it, it sounds like he is part of a Russian counterintelligence project to reach in to America and find people that you can have them that would compromise themselves. You're looking for rich people, narcissistic people, sociopaths. They're out for the money. And Trump is he's the prime target for Russian intelligence. And he's doing everything to undermine us. And he admires dictators like Putin. How could that be? I mean, it would be an incredible operation by the Soviet or Russian intelligence to compromise him. He's doing exactly what Putin wants to happen to us. He wants us to get confused and flounder and fall our Constitution, our democracy. He wants us weak. And here he is. He has this clown there that's doing everything that the Russians want to do to us. We're divided now. We're a house divided. It's almost 50-50. We're divided. How could that be? I am going to do what I could do. I'm going to go out and brace some people like Mueller. Brace means go up on them, confront them, and tell them, come forward, tell the truth. Why Trump is where he is right now, why you have so much to do with it, and why do you keep this, this cover-up going? I know you're doing it. I've got the proof. You heard some of my good friends, and all they were doing was trying to tell the truth, disclose the truth about Felix Sater and Trump and the FBI involvement, and you went after them and you destroyed them. But I came forward. You haven't destroyed me yet, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to say it again, Robert Mueller and your pit bull, Andrew Weissman, you are really, I guess, traitors. You've done this and you won't come forward. It's fear, isn't it? And it's also, you don't want to take down people that are involved around you. But this is more important. Isn't this country more important than one man and his friends that did this to us? There's nothing out there that will take him down now except the truth. And you have the truth, but you don't have the courage to come forward. And I'm not going to let it go. You know that. You know I came to court. You know I filed an affidavit saying all these things. You know I came to court to testify, and they wouldn't let me take the stand. I'm not going away. And someday, soon, I'll confront you, Robert Mueller and Andrew Weissman. Andrew, I've already braced you. I've already braced Felix Sater. You never reply to me to anything I do, Andrew, right? Because I'm true, because I'm telling the truth. And today is really sad. It's the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. It's sad because Well, it's tragic that something like that happened. And it's sort of ironic now that in the Middle East, that there were Israelis that believe that they can wage all-out war against the Palestinians, that they can kill them and drive them off their lands. In this day and age, Israelis believe that. Not many at all, but some, enough believe it. And they're white supremacists, they're racist, they're treating the Palestinians in many respects the way the Nazis treated Jews and Russians and Polish people. They're subhumans, that's what they said, they could kill them. Well, and what makes it worse for us is that every bomb, every artillery round that hits the Palestinians and blows them to smithereens was made in America and either given or sold to the Israelis. That's really terrible. It makes us complicit in the Israelis' war crimes. We're co-conspirators in that. How does that look to the rest of the world? How does it look to the Palestinians when they see pieces of these bombs and these missiles and it have U.S. signatures on it, USA? Are we winning their hearts and minds? No. Making it worse for us and for the Israelis. This is actually a disaster for everyone that wants peace in the Middle East. The only peace you'll get is the peace you make. And nobody's made peace over there yet. All right. And bring you a quick update about that case I was talking about, Barbara Feldman. It's ongoing, and that is an American tragedy when someone could be arrested and there's no crime committed. How's that? You get arrested, there's no crime committed. And you would think that in our justice system, I call it the injustice system, there would be some way to stop that. How could a case go forward? No crime was committed. Barbara Feldman cannot be innocent because no crime was committed, but she was absolutely framed beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm having a hard time convincing people, the people, that are prosecuting her, that they should stop this. That it's a nightmare for her. It's just one more case to them, but it's her only case she's ever had. It's a nightmare. So far, they haven't done the right thing. It's going on 5 months. These things happen. Everybody says we have the best system of justice, but many, many mistakes are made. And we now know that our institutions can be, corrupted to such an extent, like our Supreme Court. They do the bidding for Trump. They completely made it that Trump would not be prosecuted. Jack Smith stumbled along. I never seen the feds screw up a case like that, ever, ever, ever. I said at the very beginning when Jack Smith was appointed to go after Trump that maybe this is one of these, what they call a false flag thing. He's pretending to go after Trump, but they're not really going there. Really doesn't want him. They're afraid of him. And they did it to themselves. Keep saying this. When I was in the Marine Corps, just back from Nam, someone came on to where I was, Landing Force Training Command. They were trying to recruit Marine Corps officers for the FBI. So I applied. I told the recruiter that I'm not a lawyer, And the recruiter said, it's good enough that you're a Marine officer, so I applied. And guess what? I got turned down. I have the letters from J. Edgar Hoover. They turned me down. It's obvious that they did a very thorough background check, and they found out some of my relatives were in the mafia. I'm glad that I didn't go in the FBI. From what I've seen has happened to it, what they're capable of doing, most of them are really straight, good people, but they're involved in too many things that are bad. Like they have a term called otherwise illegal activity. That means they let people, informers, go out and commit crimes, and they get a pass. And many times these are murders and big drug deals and extortion. How's that? Otherwise illegal activities, the FBI. All right.
I saw